radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Helb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super hero, that is, because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome. It is Pushing the Limits. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we've had earlier today, but we're here now. And the lovely lady that is sitting to my right, her name is Ana Braga. She is an international supermodel. You've seen her on the front covers of Playboy. She's been in Vogue and Cosmopolitan. She's also a former MAGA supporter, now turned in the right direction, but I would say on the left. Sorry for the technical difficulties we've had a little bit earlier. Thank you for being here, Anna. It's good to see you. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
I think we got to get her mic on because her mic is okay. There we go. Go ahead, Anna.
Can you guys hear me?
I cannot hear you right now for whatever reason. I don't know why. For whatever reason, her microphone is not working. We're having a lot. So let me give everybody the rundown on what's going on here. Okay, before we get Anna, because we got to hear the lovely Anna talk.
Hello.
No, still can't hear her. But what we've been going on here, and I'm going to just do full disclosure so everybody knows what's going on here. My normal producer, Numchuck, has tested positive for COVID. So unfortunately, my normal producer that's here every day is not feeling well, and we can't have him in the studio. We wish him the best. He's feeling a little bit better, but he's had COVID the last couple days. So hopefully he'll be getting better, and hopefully we could get the microphones working. But let me give you all a little bit. If you want to just put me on the screen right now, Brian, if you can, and I want to give people a little bit of a rundown of what has transpired here over the last 24 hours in New York City, because we had this horrible tragedy that took place, obviously, horrible tragedy, where we had a bunch of innocent people that lost their lives. And I want to give you kind of the rundown on what took place and what we're going to be dealing with and what people in New York City, quite frankly, are dealing with as well. A lone gunman has killed 4 people in Midtown before fatally shooting himself in what is described as the deadliest gun attack in New York City in 25 years. The shooting happened at a Park Avenue skyscraper that includes corporate offices for the National Football League. The shooter's name is Shane Tamura, 27 years old, who actually presides in Las Vegas. Do we have Anna's microphone working now? Okay, Anna.
Can you hear me?
There you go. I think
Yes.
I can. Yes. Yeah, speak a little bit closer to the microphone. There we go.
Hello.
I'm sorry you came on a day that's a little bit hectic
It's
today.
okay.
But I
It's
appreciate
okay.
I appreciate you being here. I can only hear in one side of my ears too.
I cannot hear myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I can
kind of.
hear you though, so that's
Okay,
the good
good.
news. I'm sorry about that.
sorry.
But you know, we talk a lot about, and thank you so much for being here. We talk a lot about, you know, the news of the last 24 hours, and obviously Donald Trump is in Scotland promoting his golf course, which is despicable. But I think of these families and these victims, Anna, in New York City. And I think of this police officer who lost his life, whose wife is now carrying their 3rd baby. Several innocent people losing their lives, several people losing their lives in Reno in a shooting in a casino. We had the stabbing in Michigan at a Walmart. And MAGA Republicans for years now have not addressed, for decades, have not addressed all the gun violence that we have in this country. They don't want to pass any gun regulations. They don't want to really do anything to help end this carnage. And obviously my thoughts and prayers are with all the victims, but what do you make of this? It seems like we talk about this stuff all the time and nothing gets done.
You said it, and not to take anything away from you, but thoughts and prayers. That's the only thing Republicans offer. It's thoughts and prayers. So we got to do more, you know?
I agree with you. And what's so frustrating to me is that we have to talk again today about all these innocent people that lost their lives. The family of Wesley LePanter, a Blackstone executive who was killed in this shooting. I mentioned the police officer who was on the job for 3.5 years, who has a third baby on the way. Several NFL coaches on Tuesday reacting to the shooting as well. Roger Goodell made a statement. Why? Because it appears as though what we know about this guy is that he claimed that he had CTE. He played football for a good portion of his life, and for whatever reason, that made him angry at the NFL. We know that he presides here in Las Vegas. We know that this was a guy that's mentally ill. We know that this is a guy that was arrested in Las Vegas back in 2023. How the hell was he allowed to have a concealed carry permit? How is he able to carry an AR-15? How was he allowed to do this? And why is it that Republicans seem to make it easier and easier for people to get their hands on assault weapons?
And they go back to, oh, it's not the guns, it's the person. Yes, it is the person, but nothing gets done.
Nothing.
I mean, and I forgot who said this on the news last night, but if something can just someone can just walk in with a gun and shoot at people in a building, you don't have security. They had one police officer, one. So these places, you just walk in and you can just shoot anybody. This is also a problem.
It's a huge problem. And speaking of security guards, a security guard by the name of Aland Atene, one of 4 people killed in Monday's shooting, was a security guard that day, and told by her family, a dedicated security officer who took his job duties extremely seriously, his union said. These are young people that have their whole lives ahead of them. And, listen, this officer who lost his life was making $85,000 a year. But when you're living in New York City with 2 kids and a wife and another one on the way, it's why he was working as an off-duty security guard there to try to provide for his family. And now he's dead. It breaks my heart. And, New York Police Department, they're sending investigators here to Las Vegas today to search for a motive, but it appears as though we have an idea of why this guy did what he did. Obviously mentally deranged, obviously a very troubled person. And it appears as though he was angry at the NFL for whatever reason, because he had CTE. He said he was suffering from CTE. How this man was able to get his hands on these weapons and legally get a concealed permit is beyond me.
And Brian, it goes back to when Republicans say, oh, but if you take the guns away, the bad guy's going to have the gun. But I'm sorry, a lot of these shootings, if not most of them, are from people who they were able to purchase it legally. It's not for someone who stole the weapon. It's not a criminal who stole the weapon. Most of these people have no criminal record.
Correct.
But something has to be done. Like you mentioned, I was in MAGA. When I was a Republican, it gets old. They say the same thing. It's not the guns. It's not the guns. But then they're not doing anything. And it keeps happening. And it's always in America.
Why is it that we have, you're right. It seems to always happen in America. Some of the highest gun violence in the world. We have more guns than in almost any other country in the world. I think last I checked, it's 140 guns per 100 people.
Jesus.
And these MAGA Republicans, I was talking to some friends last night about this. They care so much about election fraud. There might be 2 people that committed election fraud, and they'll pass 300 or 400 bills, right, when it comes to that stuff. But when it comes to gun control, they don't want to pass any legislation. They don't want to pass anything. They want to make it totally fine for an 18-year-old to get his hands on an AR-15 at the age of 18. It's insane to me. Explain to me why an 18-year-old needs to get his hands on an assault weapon, an AR-15. But these MAGA Republicans will show up in Washington, D.C. with their AR-15 pins after these tragedies take place. And like I said, the last few days, we had this shooting in Reno where several people lost their lives. Guy goes in there with a gun. I was just in Reno 2 weeks ago. We had this stabbing that took place in Walmart. All this stuff is going on. You have these MAGA Republicans that continue to endorse, the NRA, and the NRA continues to endorse them. And Republicans make it easier for people to get their hands on guns, period. Nobody can deny that. There is not one person that cannot deny that. MAGA Republicans make it easier for people to get their hands on guns, while we have some of the highest amounts of gun violence in the world in this country alone. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
And I mean, they hate when you ask this question, but why do they need that type of gun? Oh, it's great for home defense. No, a lot of people say a shotgun. it's better for home defense. But I mean, it's always, like I said, it's always from someone who had no criminal record. Although this guy was arrested,
Right.
should be an automatic, no, you cannot own anything, period.
Yeah, you're right, Anna. So I want to play some audio for you. And MAGA Republicans seem to be more upset that CNN at one point yesterday, when the breaking news was coming out, said that this guy might be a white guy. And MAGA Republicans are more upset at CNN for this statement than actually the perpetrator. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Because they want it to be an immigrant.
Yeah, it's crazy. Right, exactly. Listen to the reporting from CNN. And again, I've been in the news business for a long time. When you have breaking news, sometimes you don't always get it right. But this right here is audio from CNN while all the breaking news was happening and we didn't have pictures of the shooter. Listen to this.
Showing you here, John's reporting that they do know what he looks like, male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe, to various locations, including upper floors, is where they're focused. What are you learning, Shimon?
So all she said was possibly white.
Whoop, God forbid.
And almost every MAGA supporter is going nuts on social media. They don't want to talk about gun control. They don't want to talk about the innocent people that lost their lives and the families that are grieving. Do you think these families of these victims give a flying F about what the color of this guy's skin is? And by the way, the terrorist attack that took place in New Orleans, all the MAGAs out there were saying it was an illegal immigrant. Did we forget about that? Or the hammer attack on Paul Pelosi, when people like Ted Cruz and Matt Gaetz were talking about how it was some sort of gay relationship and he let him in there? Every single mass shooting or every big event, it seems like MAGA Republicans are the ones that want to come up with conspiracy theories. But you have a 10-second moment on CNN where they say possibly white male, and MAGA loses it, but they don't want to talk about gun control. They think this is a bigger issue to them, and it drives me crazy.
That's the description. But did you hear that Laura Loomer, she posted on Twitter, I'm not going to say X, it's Twitter for me, but she said that the guy in Michigan was a Muslim.
So you're right.
He wasn't a Muslim.
I have that. So just hours after this shooting, by the way, when they haven't even taken away some of the dead bodies, the Islamophobic freak, Laura Loomer, was blaming the shooting on Islam and Muslims and immigrants. Meanwhile, the NYPD police officer who was killed is Muslim, with a pregnant widow. And while all this is going on, the White House, on their official Twitter page, is promoting Donald Trump's new golf course in Scotland. And I'm angry. I'm angry because I'm sick and tired of talking about all these innocent people that are losing their lives. And when these MAGA Republicans, and I'm done with people saying, oh, don't make it political, Brian. Now's not the time. The Republican Party is the party that has made it easier for bad people to get their hands on guns. The Republican Party is the party that cares more about a CNN anchor saying possibly white than saving lives and saying, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have these assault weapons out there to the general public. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't be 18 years old and not know how to shoot a gun to be able to carry an AR-15. Maybe if you're mentally ill or you physically assault a security guard in a casino, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to purchase a gun. And then MAGA Republicans want to talk about mental illness. Oh, we need to do a better job with mental illness. Then why do you keep voting against bills to put more money allocated to help people that are mentally ill? Why do you continue to make it easier for people to get their hands on guns? Why do they think it's okay for any 18 or 19-year-old to buy an AR-15? Why? It drives me crazy. And we have this pregnant widow and all these victims and all these families from the Reno shooting, from the shooting in New York City yesterday, the stabbing in Michigan. And MAGA Republicans will flail their arms up in the air and say, hey, bad people are going to do bad things. Let's get more guns.
When?
More guns make us safer. They always say that.
How?
The man who was shot and killed, the police officer, had a gun on him. How did that work out for him? No, more guns do not make us safer. Yes, if I'm in a supermarket or a mall or wherever and there's an active shooting situation, of course I want somebody there that knows how to shoot a weapon with a gun. Of course I do. But more guns in society do not make us safer. And I'm not making this up, Anna. You go on social media, people are more angry at this Aaron Burnett, this CNN anchor.
Oh, yeah.
Calling us possibly a white shooter, because they care more about that because they think somehow white people in this country are victims.
Because it goes against what Donald Trump preaches, that they're coming out of the prisons, mental institutions, the immigrants are crossing the border, they're the danger. But most of the stuff happening, it's white people. I mean, sorry, but it is. But they hate it. They don't want to have a conversation.
Yep.
They get angry. Oh, you're attacking our race. Give me a break.
They'll attack transgenders. They'll attack gay people. They'll attack migrants. On Fox News, they'll show black people committing crimes 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so sick to me. And obviously, the number one person that we blame for this horrible incident is the shooter, Tamura, who, by the way, has resided here in Las Vegas. And I'm told he drove cross country, that he went through New Jersey. He drove cross country with multiple weapons, by the way. He didn't just have an AR-15. He had other magazines and he had other weapons. Right. In his vehicle. He just parked right in front of this building where he knew this wasn't like a random shooting. It appears as though he knew that he was going up to a floor where the NFL offices were, and he's just spraying bullets at people. And as I said, 4 people lost their lives. A 5th person is fighting for his life, my understanding of that. Mayor Adams has made a statement, held a press conference yesterday and today. It's just such a sad story, but I get very upset at people on the right who have no solutions. They keep saying, you're not taking away my rights. You're not taking away my Second Amendment rights. Then I say, okay, then what are your solutions? Yeah. Nothing. They have nothing except stupidity. More guns make us safer. No, they don't. If that was the case, then we would be one of the safest countries in the world when it comes to gun violence. Why is it we have more guns in this country than almost any other country in the world, and we have almost more gun violence than any other country in the world? If more guns made us safer, why would that be? That's a lie. And they cover it because the NRA backs these right-wing bastards. That's what they are. Sons of bitches is what I would call them, who show up days after the Uvalde, Texas shooting wearing an AR-15 pin. Some politicians did that.
Horrible.
Yeah, some politicians have done that because they don't care. All they care about is remaining in power. They don't care that 15 million people are going to lose their Medicaid. They don't care that literally hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions, are going to be off of their food stamps. They don't care. All they care about is they're taken care of. That's all they care about. Let their children go to a private school with security.
Yeah, we're not even saying we're going to take all your guns away. No one is saying that. But tell us, give us a solution.
Yeah, and I've talked about this a lot, Anna. And on the YouTube super chat, Mikozuko says, keep talking down to the mags who all suffer from Trump fellatio syndrome. Yeah, I will continue to do that. We had, as you know, and it's so weird because I spoke about this and I got emotional on the air yesterday because a friend of mine was shot in the October 1 shooting. And I was thinking a little bit about that today. I'm like, wow, isn't it interesting that I was talking about that shooting yesterday where another mental nut job killed over 60 people in Las Vegas. Nothing was done then. When Donald Trump was president back then, he met with, at that time, the leader of the NRA. He said he was going to do something about bump stocks. Then he reversed his decision on it because MAGA Republicans don't care about your safety. They claim they do, but the way they vote proves the absolute opposite. They don't. And again, as I say before and I say again, if you go on social media last night and today, they're more upset over a CNN anchor, Aaron Burnett, saying that it was possibly a white shooter. They're more upset at that than talking about the actual victims and their families and these poor people that lost loved ones. My heart goes out to them and the grief and the loss, and it's happening all over our country. It just so happens that this is a national story because this stuff doesn't usually happen in New York City, at least not to this magnitude, and that's why it's a national story.
It's so scary.
It is scary, and I can't even imagine what this mother is going through today. I hope she doesn't have a miscarriage. I can't imagine what she is going through, carrying the 3rd child, and this father.
Say goodbye to someone when they go to work. You don't know if they're going to come back. It shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't, especially children too. How did this guy get a legal permit to carry a concealed weapon?
That's what I'm saying. It's not, he wasn't a criminal, stole the gun. Usually it's someone that purchased it legally.
Right. And it appears as though that's the case here. And this is what drives me to insanity. And I've said it a million times. Not everything is political. But there is one party that wants to do something about all the gun violence in America. And there is another party that cares more about the NRA and cares more about money in their pocket. And that's the Republican Party. Joe Biden passed, it wasn't enough, but he did everything he could to pass the most bipartisan gun legislation in decades. After the Sandy Hook shooting, Barack Obama pleaded with Republicans. He didn't have the House and the Senate. He pleaded with Republicans to do something. They couldn't pass a bill because Republicans wouldn't agree to do it. When you have a bunch of 8 and 9-year-old kids that are decapitated, and I'm sorry to use graphic language, but that's what happened in Sandy Hook. And you have Republicans that will not put gun legislation, they won't put it on the books. They won't do anything except make it easier. Ron DeSantis is trying to pass a bill as we speak to make it legal for convicted felons to purchase weapons after 7 years.
You gotta be kidding me.
After 7 years, MAGA Republicans in Florida are trying to pass a bill to make it legal for felons to legally purchase weapons. I mean, what country are we in right now?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, and they say they care about us. They care about the nuclear family. And these idiots like Lauren Boebert with their Christmas photos and giving 4-year-olds AR-15s to hold in these Christmas photos. These are sick people. By the way, Lauren Boebert's opponent, who's a wonderful lady, is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow. It's sick. And I'm almost at a loss of words. I'm almost at a loss of words because as I'm watching this, Anna, unfold yesterday on television, I say the same thing over and over again. What does it take? If we have somebody go into a school and shoot a bunch of innocent 8 and 9-year-olds and Republicans won't do anything then, they're not going to do anything now. And I don't know what we can do other than vote these people out. And again, if you're a Republican out there, how could you be okay with this?
Yeah,
explain it to me.
Why can't we have a conversation? Every time we bring this up, MAGA gets extremely aggressive, borderline violent. You know what they do? Every time there's something like that happens, go buy ammo. Yeah. Let's go buy more guns because they're going to shut everything down. I mean, this is your thoughts and prayers. I'm on my way to the gun store. I mean, that's kind of weird.
It's sick. Why do we need assault weapons? Unless you're a brave man or woman in uniform, a police officer, explain to me why any citizen needs an assault weapon. Why? Because you want to have fun? You want to go shoot a deer with an AR-15 because it makes you tough like that moron Don Jr., that idiot Donald Trump Jr.? You know, I mean, I'm sorry. These types of weapons of war, that's what they are. And the goal of these weapons is to fire as many bullets as possible in a short period of time. You don't need an AR-15 to defend yourself in your home. You certainly don't need an AR-15 to be shooting at, I don't know, objects and having fun or hunting.
You know what they say? Oh, but if you live in the woods and there's like a mob coming in. Okay, you live in the woods. What mob's going to come in? Are you watching too many zombie movies? I mean, what are you talking about? Oh, you have to have it. So they have all these guns for a hypothetical scenario, like a fictitious scenario. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know everything. I really don't. Can somebody like say something, you know?
Joe made a donation. He says, Brian, thank you always for a great show. I appreciate you. Very sad and scary day here in Reno. He lives in Reno. Joe says, be safe and thank you for what you do. Thank you, Joe, for your support. I'm just really frustrated. You know, we talk about Donald Trump a lot on this show, and we'll get to that. He's in Scotland making the boob is the orange orangutan making another embarrassment to the country with the official White House Twitter account gloating about this new golf course that just opened up. We'll get to that, but I do want to open up the phone lines, and I want to talk to all of you. If you're just joining us, Anna Braga, international model in studio, nice enough to be here. Anna's done this show before, by the way. We went to some Kamala Harris rallies. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out, but Anna used to be a Donald Trump supporter. She is far from it right now. She is on the right side. And I always appreciate it when she's here. I do want to open up the phone lines because I want all of you to respond to this. Obviously, my heart breaks for all the victims and their families in Reno, the Walmart in Michigan, and now this horrific shooting that took place in New York City. Listen, I grew up in Connecticut, not far from New York City. I spent a lot of time in New York City. So I do want to give out the phone number for those of you that want to chime in on this. 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, that number is 702-221-7283 on a day that is, again, a very sad day for the country where a lone gunman killed 4 innocent people in Midtown after fatally shooting himself in one of the deadliest, it is the deadliest gun attack in New York City in over 25 years. It happened on Park Avenue, the skyscraper there that included a bunch of corporate offices for the National Football League. That's where it appears as though that's what the motive was. They're not saying that for sure, but it certainly appears that's what the motive is here. The shooter is Shane Tamura, 27 years old. He was a competitive football player in his youth. And there was a suicide note that was found in his pocket that expressed his grievances with the NFL, said he suffered from CTE, a disease that is linked to head trauma. So I do want to go to the phone lines right now at 702-221-7283. Again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, is 702-221-7283. Let's go to Mark. Mark is first up on PTL. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Yep. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Uvalde. Yeah, you're right. Well, they were a bunch of cowards. I could also give you another scenario, right? There is, if you remember I think it was a Walmart shooting, a supermarket shooting in Buffalo. Do you remember a security guard that was armed, lost his life? Yeah, it's tragic. It's terrible. It's terrible. For whatever, hold on one second, Mark. We're hearing that they cannot hear the callers on the YouTube page. I don't know why that is. For whatever reason, the callers are not being heard on the YouTube page. Hopefully they can hear now. Go ahead, Mark. Yes, go right ahead. I'm hearing that there's no audio. Yeah, but go ahead, Mark. Yeah, Mark, I agree with you, and I appreciate the call. Thank you. We apologize for some of the audio issues that we're having here today. Mark, I appreciate hearing from you. Thank you very much. By the way, the number to call 702-221-7283 if you want to be a part of the conversation. I'm just heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for all these people that have lost their lives. I'm heartbroken for all the people out there that are suffering today. It's tragic. And every single day that goes by, I want MAGA Republicans to wake up and smell the coffee, but I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever will. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't think Republicans are ever going to do anything to address this issue.
I haven't heard a solution yet.
Thank you, Mark, for the phone call. Appreciate it. 702-221-7283. 7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Tony. Tony's next on PTL. Hey, Tony, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I was going to say, you guys actually got a hit on the head earlier when you mentioned that, people get...
I think we just lost Tony. Tony, are you still there? I think we might have just lost Tony. Sorry about that, Tony. You can call back. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Apparently they just heard the caller, but now we just lost the caller.
We lost Tony. Call back.
But I do agree with his sentiment with what he was saying there. Sorry about that, Tony. Please call back. All right, let's go to Frank. Frank is calling out of Wisconsin. Hey, Frank, what's going on?
How you doing, Brian? My heart goes out to those people in New York. Every day you hear something that you don't want to hear. And when you got families, that's even worse. So my heart and love goes out to them.
Yeah, mine does as mine does as well. It's horribly tragic, Frank.
I have something to say to you. Why is the government trying to make you pay the Venmo and Cash App and send money? Why?
Repeat that one more time for me.
Why is the government having you put Venmo or Cash App on your phone and then sending the money for the payoff of debt certificate?
That's a really good question, and I appreciate the call, by the way. Thank you for calling in. That's a good question. I don't know if you have an answer for that, Anna. I do. Thank you for the phone call, Frank. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. Take care.
Yep. I don't know if you have an answer for that, but we can pod it down. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to David. David's calling from New Mexico. Hey, David, what's going on?
Yes, sir. I'm kind of frustrated. Why aren't we calling out Kevin Roberts, who threatened the American people? He said it would get bloody, right? Why aren't we calling him out? Donald Trump is an imbecile.
Well, of course, Donald. That's obvious. Donald Trump is absolutely an imbecile. I don't disagree there. David, what else you got for me? Did we lose David?
I think we did.
I think we just lost David. All right, we're gonna give these phone calls a try and keep it going here. I don't know. We'll keep it going here. Obviously, we're having some issues with our phone lines today, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I apologize to everybody out there. We'll get it. We will certainly get it worked out. By the way, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. All right, so I think here's what we're going to do. We are going to reset things. We are going to make sure our phone lines are working. And we are going to ask all of you wait on hold. And I know our phone lines are full right now, so we're going to get the phone lines worked out. And we will be back right after this. So I think what we're going to do, Mr. Feldman, is we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be back with your phone calls right after this. You are listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. We'll be back right after this.
Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show or a podcast, but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at radioyou101.com.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
Hey, everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Who would have thought there'd be so many kids playing ice hockey in the desert? Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, founded by Gina Yusufzai 8 years ago, made it possible for families who can't afford the equipment and fees. Donate today at www.hockeyforkids.org and help us continue making a difference. Join us in supporting Jake Kelb's Hockey Foundation and the Las Vegas Ice Warriors, where every kid gets a shot at the starting line. Just a reminder, our website is www.hockeyforkids.org.
It's time for the most interactive radio program in Las Vegas.
Everybody, it is Pushing the Limits on a Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Programming note for you. Tomorrow on the program, Lauren Boebert's opponent is going to be joining us. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. Lauren Boebert's opponent will be joining us on the program tomorrow. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Apologies for some of the technical issues that we've had today. It's certainly not the fault of the person, my good friend Brian Feldman, who's filling in for Numchuck today. We hope he gets better. He's got COVID. We hope he's better. We have the lovely, beautiful Anna Braga joining us in studio today as well. You may have seen her in Playboy. You may have seen her in Vogue, right? You may have seen her in how many of these magazines you've been in? I don't even know. You've been in so many of them.
So many worldwide. Yeah.
But you used to be a Donald Trump supporter, which I still find hard to believe, by the way.
It's traumatizing.
I still find that hard to believe. But she is on the right side of history right now, and I'm very grateful for that. And she's joining us. Obviously, we're talking about this horrible tragedy that took place in New York City, where 4 innocent people lost their lives. And we have this shooting that took place in Reno. While all this stuff is going on, Donald Trump is in Scotland promoting his new golf course. I wonder why every single time Donald Trump plays golf, he decides to play golf at one of his own golf courses in his own resorts. I think we probably know the answer to that.
Yeah, got it.
Money.
Money, of course.
And it seems like that's really the only thing that drives him.
And then he says that he's doing all these deals with Europe, where Europe is winning, not us, and potentially could make things even more expensive over here, because when you just ship everything away, you know, I'm originally from Brazil. Growing up there, you see, we send all this stuff abroad, you know.
Yeah.
Brazil exports a lot.
Yeah.
U.S. buys a lot from Brazil. What happens is it ends up, your product, if you send too much of it, ends up, I'm no economist, but ends up being more expensive for the people from the country that exports, but he just wants to send 70% of energy, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, we're making all these deals. I'm selling armaments and whatever. He just wants to say, I'm not here just playing golf, but hello, this is my golf course. Come stay here.
Yeah, it's sickening and
it's ridiculous.
It's beyond ridiculous. But they want to talk about Hunter Biden selling paintings. They want to call the Joe Biden and the Biden crime family. When this guy's got this crypto scandal where his family's making billions of dollars, he's now on our taxpayer dollar promoting his new golf course that took place in Scotland. By the way, they retweeted it on the official ex-White House account. It's despicable.
It's a joke.
It is.
What they post on that account is an absolute joke.
It is.
Trump is a Superman. That man never lifted a weight, never been inside of a gym.
Yeah.
He never exercised. Come on, he's no Superman.
That's true, but I don't exercise a lot either. But I'm also not.
But you're not a
obese.
bully. Like you're
That's
not
true.
posting yourself as Superman.
That's true.
Like all this AI absurdity.
That's true. All right, let's try these phone lines again. Let's see if we're up and running here. Let's go to Kava. Kava's next. Hi, Kava. What's going on?
Hi, Brian. How are you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
So I wanted to address what you guys were just talking about, what happened in New York City, and it's awful. I mean, this is absolutely devastating, and my heart breaks for the families that had to go through this. This did not have to happen. It should never have happened to begin with. And the fact that, no one is stopping these pew-pewing. There's no, pew-pewing control or anything. It tells you that these Republicans do not care about anything but themselves. This is exactly what we've been talking about for the past, 9-10 months? This is what these people do. They say, well, we have a right to our guns. Okay, but that doesn't mean you can go around pew-pewing places.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. And this is the history. And by the way, Kava, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I would say that the history of the Republican Party, you can pot it down. Yeah, you can pot it down. The history of the Republican Party has shown to all of us that they care about the rich, the elite, right down to the top 1%. They don't care about people that are struggling. They don't care about making us safer. The president of the United States is the guy who pardoned a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, some of whom beat police officers. And when it comes to gun control or healthcare, really important issues, or the right for a woman to get an abortion, what she does with her own body, really important issues, they fail and they don't care. So I think Kava's right.
It's the whole brainwashing. Once you're in there, that's how you think. And if you ask questions, they come for you. You're not allowed to ask questions. You have to listen and agree, believe everything Trump says, everything the Republicans say. The moment you start asking questions, you really don't belong in there. Yeah, that's how I got out. I started asking questions. When you say, Anna, I can see you being in MAGA. Well, because I didn't ask questions. I let them think for me. I let them tell me what to say. But then when I started paying attention, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. Yeah. You guys are okay with this? And they're like, yeah, we are. Trust the plan.
But you questioned it, and why do you think there are so many people out there that are still in that, as I would call it, a cult?
It is a cult. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to know. Or a lot of them, they really feel seen. They agree with everything Trump represents. I see them online. They're like, oh, I love making liberals mad. I mean, how old are you? I mean, it's been how long you're in that cult? You want to make people mad. I mean, you're miserable. You want to make people as miserable as you. That's who they are. Yeah. I mean, and then I know people, good people that are in MAGA. Oh, I don't want to talk politics, Anna. I love you. I don't want to talk politics. I don't know much about politics. Or a good friend of mine said, oh, I voted for him because I just like some of his policies. And I said, hey, if you don't mind me asking, could you tell me the policies you like? Oh, I have to look at it. So I mean, look, they repeat. They don't even know, and they see what I mean.
I
So I
agree,
said,
yeah.
look, I don't want to fight with you, but you did not do your research.
Yep. And Digital David on the YouTube super chat says, unlike trans and DEI people, we can safely assume a gun's intent. They are used to injure or kill. Time for Congress to stop the excuses act. Well, I agree with you, David, but there's one side of the aisle that refuses to act, and then there's the other side of the aisle that's been begging Republicans. Let's go to David. I believe David is calling from Pennsylvania. Okay, so we don't have David on. We have Andy. Andy, who's calling from London.
Wow.
Hey, Andy, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind? Andy, are you there? Did we lose Andy? Andy, are you there? I think we're having some more issues with our phone lines. Go figure. I don't know whether that was Andy or David on the line, but I know that there's somebody there waiting. I just don't know who it is.
It's all blinking.
Yeah. Well, all the lines are blinking because the lines are full. But,
Yeah.
But all right, let's try Andy one more time. Andy, are you there, my friend?
I am, Brian. I got cut off for some reason. Obviously, you got some telecommunication issues.
Yep. Thanks for calling in, Andy. What's on your mind?
It's all right, mate. So, Anna, a couple of questions. How long were you a Trump supporter? Why did you support him? And what made you decide to leave MAGA?
Okay, so I voted for him in 2016 and unfortunately voted for him again in 2020.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Well, why?
Listen, I feel the pain. Okay, I have to look back and see and live with it. But okay, so the end of 2022, that's when I really started to pay attention. And I'll be honest with you, why did you vote for him 2020? I figured out actually the other day.
I'm curious, but yeah.
So why did I vote in 2020? I remember COVID was very tense between both sides. And I remember I could not say anything online like, I cannot wear a mask because I'm claustrophobic, so I just stay home. And they would say, well, I hope you die. You know, liberals would just say crazy stuff to me. So I did not open my eyes then because it was so much resentment. Do you know what I mean? I could not have a conversation. Oh, we cannot have a conversation about masks. People will get extremely angry. Oh, you're claustrophobic, you have asthma. Why can't you hold your breath? I mean, like you could not, everyone was fighting. So that just made me not want to vote for Joe Biden. I was just angry. I was a different person then. So I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to vote for Trump again. But I regret it. I'm not the person I used to be. Once you know better, you do better. But
yeah, but the second time you voted for him again, and you know, after they're eating the dogs, eating the cats. I mean, what? That's enough to make you not want to vote for him, right? Apart from these rape charges as well.
Well, yeah, the dogs and the cats thing. To be fair, though, that was fairly recently, right?
Yeah, that was like okay. I voted for Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
so
I
did not vote for him 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I left MAGA early 2023.
Right.
And but he said a good point because you ask people. I asked my friend, didn't you hear what he said? They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. And she goes, oh, I never heard that. Seriously, there's people not paying attention. I'm like, you didn't watch the debate.
They chose not to listen.
Yeah, not to watch. I said, honey, you didn't do your research.
Andy, I want to ask you a question since you're calling from London, because we are talking about, gun violence, and I'm sure you heard about the shooting in New York City yesterday. Why is it you think that in London you have a fraction of the gun violence that we have here in the United States? Why do you think that is?
Because you can't just buy them off the counter, over the counter.
Right.
You can't. We don't have shops. We don't have gun shops. We had actually stabbing yesterday, but even stabbings in this country are very rare. There's 2 people got killed. But in terms of guns, no. I mean, we don't glorify them like they do in America. You can't walk into any shop, department store and buy a gun. And you have so many checks. And most people who have guns in the UK are usually farmers. who need to, deal with pest control and maybe hunt for pheasants or things like that. But that's it. We don't have guns. We don't have that desire. I collect watches. I don't collect
What
guns.
would you say to the
You know what I mean?
politicians in the United States of America, many on the right, that say more guns make us safer?
Well, if I recall, I can't remember which politician it was who said that drag queens were more dangerous to American society than guns.
Probably
Which
MTG.
that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really, about the MAGA and the Republican
They're
Party.
insane.
It really does, Andy. Hey, great phone call, and I appreciate your call,
you,
Andy.
Andy.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers,
702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. A lot of different topics that we are discussing today. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we have. Just to give you a little bit of an update, and Anna Braga is joining us in studio, by the way. We're learning a lot more about this lone gunman who killed 4 people in Midtown. He lives and presides in Las Vegas. He's originally from L.A. We know that he drove cross-country, claiming that he had CTE issues from being a high school football player. He drove cross-country to go to the NFL, I guess, in a sense, some of their offices in this skyscraper in New York City. And we know that this is the deadliest gun attack in New York City in over 25 years. What we know is that among the victims, a young security guard, a police officer who was only on the job for 3.5 years, who has 2 kids, one on the way, with a beautiful wife. These were innocent people that were just doing their job that day. It was at the end of the workday, and it was absolutely chaos. Police had to block off blocks of roads because they didn't know at that time that the shooter also took his own life. Perhaps that's the only, I don't want to say good thing, but perhaps that's a better outcome than him killing more innocent people. And I saw pictures, Anna, of some of the people on these floors that were taking couches and office stuff and putting it against the doors so that
barricade
you could.
themselves.
Yeah, can you imagine being in that situation? The
No.
trauma that you would go through to be in a situation like that. I mean, I can't even imagine, right? And Republicans are going to say thoughts and prayers. Republicans are going to continue to
I love you, bro.
say thoughts and prayers for the victims.
I
and they will do
respect that.
nothing. They care more about alligator Alcatraz.
The prayers don't work.
Yeah. It's
because there's something called free will.
Yeah. No, you're right. I agree.
The prayers do not stop the devil.
I agree. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Luck Dragon, I believe, is next up, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Luck Dragon, what's going on?
Yeah, actually, usually you guys hold me for like 20 minutes, so I'm not even prepared. I'll call back.
What?
I don't even get
Come
the
on.
joke. No, seriously, there's no joke in this. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about other than the fact that you guys need to look at KHOU Channel 11 in Houston and just watch this guy who gets detained by ICE and has a full interview. He is the baddest dude you will ever see in your life. Trust me.
Okay.
Just look up.
What are your thoughts on? Well, what are your thoughts?
KHOU.
What are your thoughts on what took place in New York City and the gun violence in this country?
How does a guy from Las Vegas make it all the way across state lines when they know he has mental problems and with an M4 to walk into a street? First of all, it's like no one saw him just walking casually into a street with a gun. Like, I would have tackled that guy. I'm sorry, I would have tackled him. What the fuck?
Whoa, watch your language. Watch the language. Watch the language.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Cut me off. Literally, it's terrible. It's incredibly stupid.
Well,
Well, it's tragic, and I agree with you. I'm just as angry as you are, my friend, and I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you very much for calling in. We all are very upset.
Just look up
Especially a busy place like New York. I don't think people pay attention to everyone on the street.
No, of course not. I'm not going to blame people. I don't
And
know.
no one's going to just tackle people.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to blame innocent bystanders. I think people were probably all in shock, and I can tell you right now, from my perspective, I've never been in any situation like that, and I hope that never happens to me. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen. And
I've been in similar in Brazil.
You know, it's interesting because I go back to Kenosha and Kyle Rittenhouse, because a lot of people would say, and listen, I understand that Kyle Rittenhouse was not convicted. But when you hear gunshots and you see somebody walking in the street in camouflage and a weapon, you think it's an active shooter situation. And that's why, in a way, I defended the second and third person that was shot in that situation. The first person, maybe not. But when you're walking around and you're among a group of people and you hear gunshots and you see somebody walking around with a gun that clearly is not law enforcement, your first reaction is to stop the threat if you're a hero. And that's what I try to explain to some people with that situation. I remember 2 officers that lost their lives here in Las Vegas. They were sitting at a pizza restaurant and they were attacked by 2 neo-Nazis. And then they went into a supermarket and there was an innocent bystander there with a gun. And he was killed. 3 people were killed that day, and 2 people that were responsible for that horrible action took their own lives. But you never know how you're going to react in a situation like that. So certainly I don't blame anybody else other than the shooter. And quite frankly, I blame MAGA Republicans. I blame MAGA Republicans for continuing to make it easier for people to get their hands on guns.
Especially when this guy was arrested before.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
He was arrested.
It should be like, arrested, let's go to your house, see if you have guns,
Yeah.
and take everything away.
What I know and what we know are learning about this guy is back in 2000, and we're talking about the shooter in New York City. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the conversation, the number is 702-221-7283. And again, the number is 702-221-SAVE. We're talking about the shooting in New York City. We had another shooting in Reno the other day, the stabbing at a Walmart in Michigan. Every single time we have one of these tragedies, every single time, you hear MAGA Republicans in that area that say now is not the time to make it political. Every single time. I remember, if you remember the Texas El Paso shooting at a Walmart where guy goes in there and shoots a bunch of brown people because of all this anti-immigration rhetoric coming from MAGA Republicans. And Greg Abbott, one of the first questions is asked about gun control. His response, now's not the time. MAGA Republicans do not want to talk about this. And if they're forced to talk about it, they will make it sound like more guns make us safer, which is not true. It's a lie.
Why can't we talk about it? That's what I don't get. It's been too many years, like you say, it's been decades, and things do not improve.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better.
And then you see crazy people hear about it. Oh, we can do it because no one's going to stop us.
Right. It's not getting better. And I lost all hope. I grew up in Connecticut. I grew up the first maybe 21, 22 years of my life. And after the Sandy Hook shooting, again, these are a bunch of 8 and 9-year-old kids. And after that shooting, Barack Obama tried to do everything he could to pass, some reasonable gun legislation and put it on the books, and Republicans would not allow it to happen. So after that shooting, and that was how many years ago? Gosh, I feel like that was 13, 14 years ago. I lost all faith. And I said, after that, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything.
The thing with the pin is just so grotesque. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, days after the Uvalde shooting, what you're referring to, Anna.
Yeah, going in with the pin.
AR-15 pins.
I mean, what the hell?
I actually had a conversation. Is George Santos in jail yet? I don't even know.
Yes, he is.
Is he in jail?
Oh my God!
Okay.
Don't get me started on him.
Yeah, because I had a private conversation with him.
You did?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've talked to George off the air multiple times. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. but we've had some private conversations. By the way, George was one of those people who wore that pin. And he said logistically, it was a mistake. And I said, what do you mean logistically, George? I said, days after a bunch of children lost their lives, you decided to put on an AR-15 pin. And now I think he was kind of embarrassed that he did it. But I'm just wondering, what goes through your mind when you do something like that? I am not one of those people that is anti-gun.
Right. Me neither.
Everybody has the right to defend themselves. And by the way, most Democrats feel the same way too.
Yes, a lot of Democrats have guns.
But we want it to be reasonable. There shouldn't be a bunch of 18-year-olds shouldn't be buying AR-15s. We shouldn't have these assault weapons out there on the streets.
Flaunting the pin.
It's sickening.
This is insane.
It's sickening. And
Christians.
Fox News won't be talking about gun control.
Oh, no.
OAN and Newsmax won't be talking about gun control. You'll hear reasonable people on MSNBC and CNN and other networks and CBS. You'll hear reasonable people talking about gun control, that something needs to be done. But I want to mention multiple things because I'm not just someone who says we need to do something. I actually have some opinions on it. Starting with, I think we need to move the age from 18 to 21. I think we need to do a better job with red flag laws. For example, if your spouse says they're going to go get a gun and kill you, I don't think that person should be allowed to buy a weapon until it's investigated. It's a case-by-case basis, right? I personally believe these assault weapons, like the assault weapons banned under Bill Clinton, which, by the way, Republicans allowed to fizzle out, save lives. We need to put that back into effect. And I would never think that a felon should get a weapon, but I think if you're mentally ill, you certainly deserve.
And they got to look at social media because I see all the time the threats and the stuff, the crazy stuff people say, and I'm like, how is this person not being investigated?
What's amazing to me is some of these dangerous people, like this guy, this nut who went into this building in New York City. He's had mental illness issues in the past. The police department here knew about it. He was arrested, and he allegedly put his hands on a security guard in a casino. This happened in 2023. Now, in my personal opinion, if you're crazy enough or nutty enough to get into a physical altercation with a security guard in a casino, you probably shouldn't be allowed to have a concealed permit, which is exactly what he had.
But look, let's be honest. These people go buy guns. Some of these people look, you can see their demeanor like crazy, but they sell because they want to make money. I mean, hello, it's right there. You know that person don't look right. You know what I mean? But can you say, let me hold off? I mean, but if there are no laws, then there's nothing you can do. You know, obviously they go into these businesses looking all weird and they buy whatever I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, listen,
I feel at their social media.
When I'm in a bar, if I see somebody with a gun or somebody has a concealed, I you know, even in any area, when I see someone with a gun, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Unless you're law enforcement, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm not a gun person.
Yeah. Like I said, and then you see them, how they act on social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
like, oh, this person would do you harm.
Listen, the Parkland shooting, the cops were called to that kid's house, I think, over 80 times. And yet he was able to get his hands on weapons. I think of the shooting that took place at Uvalde. This was a mentally deranged 18-year-old who legally was allowed to go into a gun store the day he turned 18. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. And bought thousands of rounds of ammunition and bought a couple AR-15s. 18-year-old in Buffalo who shot a bunch of people in a supermarket.
Why do you need all that? You know?
Well, that's also, the thing.
That guy, I forgot, was it New Hampshire? I don't know which state. He was a instructor, NRA instructor. He went into a grocery store and shot people. I mean, this is the good guy with the gun. I mean, there were the red flags are there.
Well, they say MAGA Republicans say things that are lies. First of all, they say good guy with a gun always gets the bad guy with the gun. That is absolutely not true. Ask that police officer's family in New York City. So that's a lie. That's number one. I wish it wasn't a lie. That's a lie. Number two, they say more guns make us safer. Completely a lie. Show me the statistics that show more guns make us safer. Number three, these mega idiots, because that's what they are. They're idiots. They think that arming kindergarten teachers are the way to go to make our children safer. They're idiots. They lie. And there are people in office right now in D.C. that actually own gun stores. The same jackass, okay, who said that January 6th was a tourist visit is the same idiot who wears AR-15 pins. So, listen, these people are absolutely sick. They're disgusting. I'll give out that number one more time. If people want to call into the show, now's the time to do it. Obviously, we're talking about the tragedy that took place in New York City where 4 people lost their lives, including a police officer. We had a shooting in Reno where a guy walks into a casino, kills several people. And the number to call is 702-221-7283. Again, that number, if you want to be a part of the program, 702-221-7283. Jeff is calling out of Las Vegas. Hey, Jeff, what's going on?
Hello, how you doing? Yeah, I'll be quick here. I think the main culprits that we need to blame for all this violent gun shooting in the schools and now this shooting in New York is the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court has just gone bananas over the Second Amendment with no limitations.
Right.
If you read the Second Amendment, it says armed militia, which would be like a National Guard. Doesn't mean every individual should have,
a well-regulated militia. Yeah.
Right. Doesn't mean that every individual can have access to a nuclear weapon if possible, or a cannon, or an RPG. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. These are military weapons.
It's interesting that these MAGA Republicans talk about the Constitution, but yet do they think this is a well-regulated militia when any 18-year-old who has no training on how to use a weapon can walk into a gun store and buy 5 AR-15s and thousands of rounds of ammunition?
That is weird.
Is that a well-regulated militia? Doesn't sound like one to me.
Why does it need all that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they voted on the ghost gun, and I think that's still available. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, my friend. You're right about that, Jeff. And
so
right.
So the Supreme Court is actually, this is why people should have voted for Pamela Harris. The main reason I felt that Harris should have been voted for was to get control over the Supreme Court, because they've just gone off the rails.
I agree. I agree with you, Jeff. Hey, it's good to hear from you. Yeah. Good to hear from you, Jeff. And I do appreciate the phone call. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
You're right. 702-221-7283, the number to call. I think we're going to Ken next. Ken is calling out of New Hampshire. Hey, Ken, thanks for calling in, Ken. What's on your mind today?
This all started back in 1979 when we were number one in education in the world. And then 1980, Reagan started his slashing and burning of the unions and cut the taxes on the rich. And it all started then. And now we're 46th. Okay? They've dumbed us down to where 2 and 2 is 22.
I've said that and this is another one of things that I think need to happen, is that, I understand driving a car is a privilege. I get that. And I understand owning a gun is a right. But to drive a vehicle and get your driver's license right, Anna, you have to be trained on how to drive the car. You have to go through testing. They have to make sure your eyesight and your health is in good standing.
Yes.
Why don't you have to do any of that stuff to buy a gun? You could go to a gun show and just buy a gun. I mean, it's insane to me. To drive a car, you have to. And by the way, I'm all for that, because if you drive a car, you don't want to put other people in harm's way. Why don't you have to do any of that stuff to buy a gun?
We had guns in the back windows of our trucks in 79 and 80.
Right.
I graduated in 80.
Yeah.
Okay. We knew, and our fathers would kick our ass if we didn't do it right.
No, Ken, you're 100% right, my friend. I appreciate you listening out there in New Hampshire. I've been to New Hampshire before, and New Hampshire is a beautiful place. I appreciate your call, Ken, and you're 100% correct. Let's go to Ohio now. where the superintendent of schools out there in a district in Ohio was caught with porn, the same guy who told you everyone in the school district should buy Trump Bibles. I do find that interesting. Anyway, Thomas is calling out of Ohio. Was that Ohio? I think it was. What's up, Thomas?
No, Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I got Oklahoma mixed up with Ohio.
Ohio.
But I'm sure there are plenty of MAGAs all over the country that are doing that. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. Go ahead, Thomas.
I would say I'm from Ohio.
Gotcha.
I was just calling in because you took my point, actually. Like the fact that I have to register my car every year, and gun owners don't have to do the same thing or even show that they even know how to use their gun is mind-boggling to me.
This is the argument, my friend Thomas, that the MAGA Republicans will say, well, owning a car or driving a car is a privilege, but buying a gun is my right. These stupid idiots. They want to talk about rights, yet they have no problem with human beings not getting due process in this country. You know, with so many of these people, it's like until it happens to them, right? And until your kid, God forbid, is shot and killed in school, you want as many people to have as many guns as possible. I'm just so sick of these people, Thomas. I really am.
And I'm all for having guns, you know what I mean? But why do people need assault rifles? Like, why do they need military-grade weapons?
Why do they say? Why do MAGA Republicans say that is not an assault weapon?
Well, they like to these people like to get into the weeds.
That right?
Yeah, so the people that like to get into the weeds on what guns can do certain things, I stopped that conversation right away. And here's what I asked them. What's your solution? I don't want to hear about how much you think you know about guns. We have a gun problem. What are your solutions? I don't want to hear you say, well, an AR-15 is an assault weapon and, blah, 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 blah. These people don't have any solutions. And when I give them my solutions, they'll disagree. Okay, then what do? Do we put our hands in the air and say, well, there's nothing we can do? Bad people are going to get your hands on a gun.
I've never been a gun guy. I probably will never be a gun guy. And my son just turned 18, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick just knowing he could go in and buy a gun right now if he absolutely wanted to.
Thomas, if there were more people like us, there would be less gun violence in this country. Period.
Amen, brother. Brian, I appreciate you. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. I believe we have a caller from LA calling himself America. That's a nice name. I like that name. America from LA. What's going on, man?
Hi, I'm calling from LA. I just want to let you know, I don't know if you've seen my messages that I've been leaving, that you don't have to worry about people going into the stores to buy firearms because there's a mobile friendly already online, actually, that they're selling guns to people online.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wow.
It's Grab a Gun, and it's Don Jr.
Yep.
And Columbia, they have this whole thing planned out, and you should check out their SEC filings. And
I'm gonna America. So here, I have a solution to some of that stuff. This is my opinion, and actually, some Republicans, believe it or not, agree with me on this. If you're caught selling an illegal gun, or if you're caught with an illegal gun, it should be a minimum 10-year prison sentence. I'm not kidding. If the circumstances are it was intentional and you sell a gun illegally to somebody or you're caught with an illegal gun, I think it should be a mandatory 10-year prison sentence. I really feel that way.
Of course, but if they're selling online, obviously the fathers, they're going to make this legal.
Right.
That is crazy online. And then in Florida, they have they're
making it for kids to be able to get on your phone and purchase a gun.
They have like the vending machines for ammunition in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. You make a very good point, my dear, and I really do appreciate you calling in out there in LA. Please be safe out there. Absolutely correct. There are easy ways to purchase guns. You don't have to go into a store. You can go into a gun show where there are so many loopholes to buy a gun in a gun store. In some cases, you don't even get a background check. It's so sickening.
Wow.
And these MAGA Republicans seem to be totally okay with that. All right, let's go to Dallas. And let's go to Sherry. Sherry is calling out of Dallas. Hey, Sherry, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
And Anna.
Hey.
I just wanted to make a point about when Gabby Giffords got shot, and when I think a few years later, Stephen Scalise was shot. That is when I kind of lost hope.
Such a good
because
point.
It's like their own congressmen, their own senators are being shot in horrific ways. And by the way, Stephen Scalise had an NRA A+ rating. And I mean, he got shot, and I mean, it was like he just recuperated, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of lost, hope in them even thinking about trying to do anything to.
Well, Steve
rectify anything as far
Scalise
as gun laws.
just give you a quick rundown on Scalise, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
Yes.
this is a guy who had some medical issues, and he's been voting against stem cell research for years, and then they use that same research to help save his life. He is a piece of scum. He's the guy who was shot and is lucky to be alive because a deranged individual shot him and almost killed him. And again, this is the guy who preaches more guns make us safer. These people are despicable. They're sick, and they're complete hypocrites.
It
They're
wasn't a wake-up call for him.
yeah.
Huh?
By the way, he was against mask wearing during COVID. He wore a mask.
Absolutely.
When he was wearing a
Absolutely
mask when
was.
he had health issues. So it's okay for him to wear a mask, but everybody else shouldn't be wearing masks. Steve Scalise is a human dirtbag, is what he is. He's a dirtbag.
Well, that's all. I just wanted to call in and make
Well,
a
thank you,
comment
my
and
dear.
just say hi. I look at you every day.
Well, thank you.
you're
I wish
great.
every
Just
woman
keep
would say the
doing it.
same. I
Keep
appreciate
pushing
that,
the
my
limits,
dear.
Brian.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate
welcome.
that. Means a lot to me. Please call back, my
Okay.
dear. I appreciate
Mhm.
you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Out back there in Pennsylvania, let's go to Tammy, where my favorite governor, Governor Shapiro's out there, not just because he has my
He's
same last name.
good.
Love
I
Governor
like
Shapiro.
him.
He's great. All right, Tammy, what's going on?
Hey, Brian and Anna. I just have a comment on gun control. I think that, this would only scratch the surface, but it's a start. People that are registered gun owners and do not keep their guns locked away from people, especially if maybe they have somebody living in the household that's got some mental issues. I think if that gun is registered to them, then they should be held accountable too.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I agree. When you look at these parents, okay, that have had kids who have gone into these schools. And by the way, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a shooting. I think it was at a bowling alley. It was like maybe 7 or 8 months ago where the parents did get charged and they're in jail. I think of the Sandy Hook shooting where unfortunately it cost her own life, but her son was, she taught her son how to shoot a weapon. This was a mentally deranged kid who couldn't even have a conversation with somebody. And she gave him access to weapons and he ended up killing him.
She actually bought a gun. Yeah.
This comes with stupidity and gun responsibility. And sadly, there's a lot of people out there that are not responsible with their guns and they allow access to people that should never be carrying a weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so anyhow, like I said, it's just a scratch in the surface, but you got to start somewhere.
You're right, my dear. I'm with you. We're in this together, and I'm with you 100%. And I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go back to Las Vegas. Let's go to Carl. Carl is calling out of Las Vegas. Hey, Carl, what's going on?
Yeah, hey guys. Listen, as far as guns go, the AR-15 is just a civilian version of a military weapon that can fire hundreds of rounds a minute, which isn't necessary. I protect my house. I have a Glock 9mm handgun, just a pistol, which is more than enough to protect my residence. And you don't need a weapon that's going to shoot hundreds of rounds a minute. It's thick,
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear on these assault weapons. They were built for one reason. That's why we call them weapons of war. They were built to kill as many people as possible in a shortest period of time. Regular, everyday civilians should not be able to use these weapons. Law enforcement, police officers, our brave men and women in uniform, absolutely. Use whatever the heck you need. But everyday civilians, if they want to make the excuse that this is my right, then why aren't you allowed to have a hand grenade? Why aren't you allowed to have a tanker filled with bombs? There's reasons for that. Because
I bet some would love to have it.
I'm sure. Yeah, some probably do. But it's like,
tell you what, we're gonna have a tank
exactly.
in my property. God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. but that's the way they talk too, Anna. You're right about that. No, you're right. That's the way they talk. Hey, you're not taking that. Listen, you can take all them teeth out of my mouth, but you can't take all them guns out of my hands. All I want is my mobile trailer and all due respect to people who live in mobile trailers, by the way. But
no, they tell
yeah.
me we're gonna send you back to Brazil.
Yeah, really.
It's Brazil.
Yeah,
I was gonna cuss.
yeah, that's okay. If it's okay to have an AR-15, then why isn't it okay to have a hand grenade? An AR-15 can do more damage, right? Arguably, an AR-15 is going to do more damage than a hand grenade, or maybe even a pipe bomb. So why are they not legal, but why is an AR-15 legal? Please, somebody help me out with that.
Can somebody
explain that to me?
We're not going to be mean.
Yeah, explain that
unless
to
you
me.
Start.
Yeah, explain that. They're afraid to. Anyway, Carl, good to hear from you. I do appreciate the call. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. I believe we have a call from Maryland. Let's go to Pat. Pat is calling out of Maryland. Hey, Pat, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today?
Brian, I feel bad for the families. I really do feel bad for the families, but I had one good laugh today.
What's that?
When I looked on YouTube and I saw that when Trump was in Scotland and the guy started playing the bagpipes the whole time Trump was talking, I had a good laugh.
That was awesome.
That was funny. Can I just be honest here? We have the president of the United States who's on a golf trip in Scotland.
Yes.
Who is promoting his golf course. The official White House X account is promoting it. And MAGA Republicans want to talk about Hunter Biden, who, by the way, never worked in the Joe Biden administration selling paintings.
Thank you.
It's sick.
It's all because of Hunter's eggplant.
Yeah, that must be what it is. Yeah. Think about that.
If Hunter had nothing to do with anything in the White House or whatever, why do they keep talking about it?
This obese orange orangutan, 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist, okay, is promoting his stupid golf course, cheating on the golf course like he cheats on every woman he's ever been with. I don't know what he cheats on more, on the golf course or women. I think it's probably an even match.
That's a lot.
But when the guy started playing the bagpipes when he was talking, I had a good laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
hilarious. But I really, my heart goes out to the families in New York, though. I tell you, this stuff is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
I could make a horrible joke. I would never do that, but I would say his caddies are cheating and dropping his balls. His caddies are cheating and dropping his balls on the golf course, and I hear when he sits on the toilet, his balls are in the. Anyway, I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Terrible joke. I apologize. So immature, but
that's the only thing big down there.
Yeah, that's true. You're probably right about that, Anna. You're probably right about that. Stormy Daniels. Thank you, my dear. Stormy Daniels might have something to say about that mushroom man. Thank you for the call, my dear. Let's go to Phoenix, Arizona to Carol. By the way, I'm going to be in Phoenix, Arizona in December with the Un-F America tour with Destiny and Robbie Road Steamer. Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's going to be in December. Hey, Carol from Phoenix, Arizona. What's going on? Do we have Carol there? Carol, did you hang up the phone? Are you that impatient as I am? How dare you, Carol? Carol, are you there?
It's Carrie.
All right, there you are, Carol.
Carrie.
What's going on, Carol?
Carrie.
I'm sorry, Carrie.
Sherry. Like the other Sherry.
Sherry. Okay, we got it right for the third time. That's good. What's going on, Sherry?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about when Arizona first passed the open carry law, and the grocery stores were the scariest places to go.
Mm-hmm.
And, Arizona has a lot of MAGA, a lot. So some of the competitive grocery stores that didn't allow open carry had a website where the grocery store shoppers could go and post their receipts of the stores that they went to that didn't allow open carry, so that the other stores that did allow could see how much money they were losing.
Yeah.
And it worked. You don't hear a lot about it, but they
like
quit
flashing,
allowing.
Because it was open
I'm
carry,
sorry?
so you could see all their weapons.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And they'd walk in, with any style gun they wanted.
I'm uncomfortable around people that are carrying. I mean, even people that I know, I don't like.
Imagine like 10, 20 people carrying at the same time.
All you need is one argument, right? And we see that a lot of times. More guns don't make us safer. I want our law enforcement to have any artillery, any guns they need, our brave men and women in uniform. everybody should have the right to defend themselves. But we got to get all the illegal guns off the streets, of course. I think our laws need to be stronger. If you sell a gun illegally, it should be a mandatory prison sentence. Maybe 10 years is a little harsh, but it should be a mandatory prison
Something's got to
sentence.
be done.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for the call, my
Well,
dear.
it's just, you're welcome.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. 702-221-7283. Sorry, I think I cut her off there. My apologies. That's my ADD kicking in. All right, let's go to Puerto Rico. We have callers calling from all over the country. We had a caller from London earlier. Let's go to Puerto Rico. Let's go to Steve. Hey, Steve, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, Brian? Bro, I was watching you on YouTube and TikTok, and you were talking mad shit about these MAGA supporters, bro. And
Okay.
at the time, when you were looking at, like, when you were asking these idiots what they were voting for, they didn't even know what they were talking about to you, bro. They couldn't name you one policy or anything. That was so fucking funny, bro.
Yeah, watch your language. Watch the language. Watch the language. We can't swear. We're on the radio.
Oh, my bad, bro.
That's all right. So,
Okay.
so what part of Puerto Rico do you live?
San Juan, bro.
Okay. What do you make of the fact that, you know, our president in the United States of America, Donald Trump, attacks people that look like you? It appears to me that he doesn't want Puerto Ricans in this country. He doesn't want Mexicans in this country.
I look white, but, you know, as I say to you, you know, it's so funny how, okay, that's my question. How are you deporting your own people? Like, how are you deporting people who are born in the United States?
Well, yeah, look at Melania Trump. Melania Trump. I mean, Donald Trump is married to an immigrant. This country was founded on immigrants, right?
Maybe she wants to get deported.
I think she wants to be as far away from Donald Trump as possible. I tend to agree with you there, Anna. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's sick, man. It's sick. The times that we are living in today is sick.
Bro, he's a convicted rapist, bro.
Well, he
Like,
is.
When I tell you, and all these people, like, when you were talking to them, right? So, like, you're talking to these people, you're talking to these MAGA supporters, like,
watch
you on
it. You
YouTube.
gotta
and,
watch.
like,
Okay, we got to watch the language. I appreciate the call, my friend, though. Thank you very much. Potty mouth.
He's
Appreciate the
worse
call.
than me.
Yeah, 702-221. I think he was talking. I did a little I did a TikTok live yesterday.
Oh, you did?
The first one I did in like 2 months, and I jumped into one of my friends' TikTok rooms there, and I just destroyed a bunch of MAGA supporters. I think he was in there, and I don't go on TikTok very often because I think it's a joke, and I think the people that run TikTok are as corrupt as anybody. But you can't even say the word gun on TikTok, by the way.
Oh, you have to say pew pew.
Yeah, it's so stupid, right? It's so stupid. But yet they allow the N-word. I've heard people say the N-word
Really?
constantly. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
All right, let's go to Pennsylvania. Let's go back to Shapiro country. I like saying that. Let's go to David. David's calling out of Pennsylvania. Hello, David.
Hey, Brian, can you hear me okay?
Yes, go right ahead.
Thanks. In regards to the shooting, you know, when you break down the numbers for deaths every year from guns, particularly homicide, I'm sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're still on. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. The majority of deaths, as I'm sure you know, are from handguns. So if you want to save lives by banning guns, why not? Wouldn't common sense dictate you ban the type of gun that kills the most people every year?
Are the biggest mass shootings in this country from handguns, sir?
Single mass shootings, no.
Okay, so we have a mass shooting major issue in this country. I think you and I could probably agree on that. The shooting in Las Vegas, what guns were used in that shooting? The largest mass shooting in American history. What guns were used there?
Primarily rifles.
Yeah, assault weapons. These school shootings dating all the way back to Columbine, to Sandy Hook, to Parkland. What weapons were used in those shootings?
Rifles,
Correct.
mostly.
Correct.
Sometimes handguns.
Correct. Assault weapons. So while you talk about handguns, I would also tell you to go back and look at the assault weapons ban that took place in the 80s that was fizzled out, and look up how many people were killed at the hands of a gun compared to now. And Republicans allowed that to fizzle out. So I agree with you. The overwhelming majority.
The majority of them are handgun killings. Though,
Okay,
so why
but
not,
take a
why
look.
not support banning those?
Okay, I'm trying to explain to you, though. When there was an assault weapons ban that was under Bill Clinton, do you know where gun violence went? Did it go up or down?
Well, it depends on how you break the data.
No,
down.
it doesn't.
Primarily went
No,
up,
it doesn't.
but Yes,
Gun-
it does.
no, it
because
doesn't.
The majority of gun deaths are by handguns.
Okay, but did the gun violence, that includes all guns, under an assault weapons ban, did the gun violence go up or down?
I believe up. I really haven't looked at that data specifically.
David, this is really important. Okay, my friend, this is really important.
Maybe I misunderstood your question. My apologies.
David,
but, yeah.
that's okay, David. It went down. Now, we have a gun
you're saying
problem.
when the ban was enacted.
When the ban was enacted, you can look this up.
Okay, I thought
gun
you said
violence
when it
went
was
down.
repealed. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
when Republicans allowed it to fizzle out, the violence started to climb. Now, David, even though we might disagree, you and me, on assault weapons, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you agree with me that there is way too much gun violence in this country?
Yes.
Good. Let's start where we agree with. Okay, we both agree on that.
Sure.
Good. Do you believe Republicans are doing enough to address this issue?
Well, I do, because I agree with them when they say we shouldn't ban guns just because they're killing people. Because then, it goes back to, well, why not ban handguns?
So you think it's okay for an 18-year-old without any training at all to buy as much weaponry and guns as they want? You have no problem with that at all?
Well, I certainly have a problem with it, but I don't agree that you should just outright ban people from being able to have weapons.
What Democrat in office has said they want to ban people from ban all people from purchasing weapons, purchasing a gun? What Democrat has ever said that?
I didn't say purchase every gun. I said purchase, certain calibers of guns, and that's going to
go
down to more calibers.
If the shooter in the October 1 shooting in Las Vegas was using a pistol or the guns you're referring to instead of a rifle, do you think 60 people would have been killed?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
What kind of pistol
Hold
you're
on.
using. You can speculate. You
Hold
don't
on.
really know.
Let me get this right.
You're asking me to answer a hypothetical.
The assault weapons that this guy was using at Mandalay Bay, and you're telling me that if somebody had a pistol instead of the assault weapons, you think that same amount of people would have been killed and it would have caused the same amount of carnage? Are you serious?
Well, wait a second. It probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
but again,
probably not. I agree. That's the point that I was trying to get to, David.
And I'm trying to explain. Again, the majority of gun deaths every year are by handguns.
Then what are Republicans doing about it? What's Donald Trump doing about it? The guy who you support. Tell me what MAGA Republicans are doing to address this issue.
He's not saying we should ban handguns.
What is he doing? I didn't ask you what he's not doing.
Well,
I asked you what. No, David, I need you to pay attention to the question. You're not.
Crime?
David, you voted for Donald Trump. I'm asking you a very simple question. What has your president, who you support, done, if anything, when it comes to all the gun violence in this country? Has he made it easier for people to get guns, or has he made it more difficult? What has he done to address this issue? Please tell me you voted for him. Surely you could come up with some sort of policy, right?
Well, I haven't seen him really address it.
You haven't seen him. You know why, David? You know why, David? Because he hasn't. That's why. Because he hasn't. Can you name me anything that Republicans, can you name me anything that MAGA Republicans have done in the last 20 years to make the gun violence in this country go down? Can you name me one policy where Republicans said, I'm all for that? Give me one.
Zero solution.
Did David just hang up the phone? I wonder why. How curious. How curious, David.
Brian, zero solutions.
David wants to get into the weeds with me about assault weapons, but do you notice when I ask him, what has your orange turd leader done to address this issue? I don't think he's done anything. Yeah, you're right about that, but you voted for him, you idiot. What have Republicans done in the last 10 years to deal, 20 years to deal with this issue? Nothing. But let's talk about assault weapons and let's get into the weeds. Hey, David, do you know what happened when Bill Clinton put that assault weapons ban in place? Gun violence went up. No, it didn't. It went down, you dope. These are the people that I have to deal with every day, Anna. They're idiots.
Once again, zero solutions.
None.
Zero.
They want to get into the weeds with me about an assault weapon. And then this guy says if this guy on the October 1 shooting had a pistol, it's a hypothetical, and he doesn't know if all those people would have died. It's the dumbest answer I've ever heard in my life.
Brian, it goes back to anyone can walk in and buy anything.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Anything.
There's another MAGA Republican.
There's nothing that stops them.
David,
nothing.
We didn't hang up on you. I think you hung up. You couldn't come up with one thing that Donald Trump has done first 4 years in office or now, the guy who you support. We agree, David. We agree on one thing. There's too much gun violence in this country.
See, you started
but he votes for someone who does nothing. It's crazy.
Then goes back, well, but what about handguns? Well, what about you allowing anyone to buy the handguns without proper vetting?
Mm-hmm. That's a big issue.
I mean, it goes for any guns, guys. It goes for anything.
He wants to break down.
It's not just assault weapons.
He wants to break down, and has an issue with me wanting an assault weapons ban. But then when I get to the nitty gritty with him, what are your solutions? He doesn't have any.
No.
And then he votes for the orange orangutan, who he self-admits has done nothing. Joe Biden put together the most bipartisan gun legislation in decades. Barack Obama didn't have the House and the Senate. He tried to do everything he could, especially after the Sandy Hook shooting. And Republicans are the ones that will not address this issue. So don't get into the weeds with me on what an assault weapon is. And don't get into the weeds with me when you think you know what you're talking about, because you want to talk about guns with me when you have absolutely no solutions. End of story. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Armando. He's calling from Las Vegas. We love our locals. What's up, Armando?
Okay, Brian. Now, when I saw that Trump was going to Edinburgh in Scotland, I figured, well, he's going to his golf course, and I thought it was vacation. But some broadcasters are saying, no, it's a working trip, for crying out loud. And yeah, he's got personal business over there. And of course, when you have personal business, Donald Trump, it has to do with grifting. Okay. And then he says, oh, and then he's going to do some tariff talks with the European Commissioner over there, van der Leyen. And unfortunately, she not you wanted it done.
Sorry, my friend. I think your phone is cutting up a little bit there, but I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I think you had some phone issues there. It might have been an Obama phone. I don't know. Let's go to Herb. Herb is calling up next. Hello, Herb. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind today, Herb?
Oh, okay, Brian. Thanks for taking my call. First thing I got to say is my thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the shooting. There's no doubt about that. The other thing is that when you look at the total, just like David said, David brought up a good argument. When you look at the total of homicides and shootings by guns in this country, the majority, and I've called you up and talked to you about this before, the majority is based on handguns.
Okay, so what are your solutions? We've already established that.
Of course, mass shootings are done by
Herb. We've already established that.
But
Herb.
if we're concerned about individual deaths in this country by guns, if we're talking about that, then you have to do something about handguns.
So what are your solutions?
Most of the shootings, and I'm going to tell you something else.
You're not giving me any solutions. What are your solutions, Herb?
This amazes me about you.
You're not answering my question, Herb. I don't care what amazes me. I know you think I'm a very handsome man. I know you're amazed by my looks and my lavish good looks. And I know you probably pleasure yourself to me every night, but we don't need to talk about that. Answer my damn question, Herb. Answer my question. Answer my question. What are your solutions?
Answer this one first. Why is it on July the 4th weekend, 8 people were shot in Chicago alone?
So why don't you tell us
Herb,
how easy it is to just go buy a gun?
And you never said a word about that.
Herb,
but you don't
I talk about, okay, so Herb, Herb, stop talking now.
Okay,
Herb,
I just want you to know.
Herb, stop talking now. Herb, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to respond to what you just said because it's insulting and you're a moron. Herb, be quiet. Be quiet and listen because you're insulting me. First of all, anybody who will you stop talking for 10 seconds and shut up?
I'm not going to stop talking.
Hang up on him. Hang up on this jackass. Herb, you're a jackass.
Fine, because you can't.
In broad Chicago, that's the talking point.
Yeah, Herb's an idiot. So first of all, Herb, you don't have any solutions. Second of all, any innocent person that loses their life, I don't care whether it's Chicago, Connecticut, or Las Vegas, is a tragedy.
Yeah, these are people.
I talk about gun control all the time on this show. And I'm talking about it today because of the tragedies that have taken place in the last 48 hours in Reno and in New York City. You go with the same handgun argument, but you have no solutions. Well, maybe we should do something about handguns, is what the moron MAGA Herb said. But notice how Herb doesn't want to answer any of my questions. And for you to say on July 4th, 8 people were killed, and somehow I don't care about that, makes you a complete MAGA dope imbecile that you are. You're an inbred MAGA imbecile who calls into this show. You're typical idiot with an IQ of about 20 who has no solutions to all the gun violence in this country.
I want to mention Chicago. This is all they do.
Yeah, I'm surprised Herb didn't talk about black on black violence in Chicago. What about it?
But Brian, these people, when I was back in the day in MAGA, for a minute, I believed that stuff. You evolve. You learn and you evolve. They're still thinking the same way. They got to break away from the cult.
We've had two. You're right, Anna. We've had 2 MAGA callers in a row. If you notice, they're all the same. Well, Brian, handguns, are cause more. Okay. even if that's true, what are your solutions? What should we do about it? What did the guy who you voted for do about it? Has he done anything? No, I don't think he's done anything. But you want to get into the weeds with me on what weapons are doing the most carnage? You know what that's like saying? Let's just say, for example, there's been a lot of a rise in stabbings. Well, yeah, but Brian, that large steak knife isn't doing all the killings. It's that shorter knife that's doing all the killings.
It's
okay.
a pocket knife.
Yeah, it's the pocket knives. Well, okay, then maybe we should do something about pocket knives. But what are your solutions? They don't have any solutions
But the
to the
illegal
problem.
pocket knives.
Yeah. I mean, the nerve of some of these people. I mean, they literally have
they
no
have
solutions.
It's the blame game and no solutions. That's how they go.
Here's the bottom line. Whether it's an AR-15 or a handgun, we live in a culture that is obsessed with guns. They are obsessed.
They're turned on by guns.
Yes, they're obsessed with guns in this country. And because they're obsessed, and we have a culture where people are, making love to their guns before they go to sleep, we have the situation that we have right now. I think we're going to Keith. I think Keith is next up on PTL. Hey, Keith, thanks for calling in, man. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Anna. Listen, when I was in the Army, I had to go through a crazy amount of training just to fire an M16. And I think that a good solution will be that if you want to buy a gun, you need to go through some kind of training. Mm-hmm. And show that you know what you're doing with the weapon.
Sure.
And one of your earlier callers says something about buying online. I can go online right now and buy an M249 saw with a 775 rounds per minute. I can go right now online and buy one. What am I going to do with that?
Wow.
What are you going to do with a weapon like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's the same weapon Terry Crews was firing in Idiocracy.
Yeah. You know what Ted Cruz said after the Uvalde shooting, Keith? Ted Cruz said we should have locked the back door. The back door should have been locked. That's what he said.
Yeah.
This imbecile.
Yeah, that's a good solution.
Like a kid who just shot his grandmother in the face with an AR-15 is going to say, "Oh, well, too bad that door's locked." I mean, they're so stupid, these people. They have no solutions, but they want to get into the weeds with me on what an assault weapon is. And most people are dying from handguns. Tell that to the people who died in the October 1 shooting. Tell that to the police officer's family with 2 kids. Oh, well, you know what? Most deaths in this country are from handguns. So let's not do anything about these assault weapons. It's so sick to me.
Most are Christians.
Yeah, they're good, wholesome Christians, right?
Well, Herb and David are dopes.
Yeah, you're right about that, Keith. You're right about that.
You can say about it. They're dopes, but
yeah,
that's what I had for you, Brian.
Keith, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the phone call.
All right, thank you.
Yep. So let's go to CJ. CJ, I believe, is calling out of LA. Hey, CJ, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hey, somebody mentioned Chicago earlier.
Yeah.
That's an often go-to talking point for that side.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Oh, Illinois has got strict gun control laws. Don't work, do they?" Yeah, look on a map. Where is Chicago? The greater Chicago area actually extends across the border into Indiana. I think the metropolitan statistical area.
Yep.
Indiana's a red state with very loose gun laws. You got a land border with a gun supplying state. Yeah. So let's try comparing a state that doesn't have a land border with a red state or any state at all. Let's compare Hawaii. When was the last time you heard about a mass shooting there?
That's true.
They got strict gun laws and they work. Or how about Australia that had a mass shooting, had loose gun laws, then they cracked down on guns and they haven't had a mass shooting since.
True.
That's one of the worst mass shootings there was. They say, "Oh, we ain't doing this no more."
You're
They
right.
didn't have a Second Amendment to have to deal with.
Well, they'll say all the crime is in blue states. I mean, they'll make that claim over and over again, which is also a lie.
Yeah.
I appreciate your call, CJ. Be safe out there in LA, and I appreciate your call. Well, Anna, this has been fun. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties we have. I also want to say I want to give my friend Brian Feldman an opportunity to talk a little bit about his show. So there's nobody in this building, and unfortunately, Numchuck has COVID. Hopefully, when he's negative, because I don't want to get COVID, he'll be back on the controls. But my good friend, out of the goodness of his heart, I owe him a lunch. Brian Feldman does a great show on Fox Sports Radio here in Las Vegas, so I do want to give him that opportunity to plug his show. And I have a feeling there won't be the same technical difficulties at your show, which is, by the way, not your fault, because when was the last time you even ran this board?
You know, it's been a minute, Brian, since I did a show here about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And the board's different. There's lights are out on it. I'm not going to complain about it. And after what I did, I don't know that I want to plug my show, for God's sakes. I mean, holy crap.
It's not your fault.
This is ridiculous, but it was a great show for those that appreciate being back here. For you, Brian, I'd step in anytime.
I appreciate it.
One of the best hosts in the country, and
that's nice of you to say. Your check is in the mail. Thank you.
And no, I could have technical difficulties. As you know, my longtime producer, Chris Chapman, for 15 years, just moved to Japan. It's going to be hard for him to produce.
Lucky him.
And he's the locker room reporter for the Vegas Golden Knights radio network. It's a hell of a guy to lose. So this Sunday is going to be my first show without him, but the show's on Sunday morning. We're on Fox Sports Radio here in Las Vegas. Same station you hear the Vegas Golden Knights on. That is on 98.9 FM at 1340 AM. 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Come on out. It's going to be a good show. Going to say goodbye to Jesse Merrick from Channel 3, who's been there forever. So going to formally say goodbye to him on the show. And we'll have you on soon, Brian, as well. Cool. You need to vent about what happened at the beginning of the show to me, so you can come on my show and ruin the first 15 minutes of my show. I deserve it.
No, it's okay. Brian, I appreciate you being here. It's not your fault. I appreciate you being here and doing a good job. Thank you. Anna, I would love to invite you back soon.
Thank you.
At maybe some point in August, if you have time.
Okay.
When we don't have the technical, and Numchuck comes back and we don't have the technical difficulties that we had today, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Is that all right? Okay, yes. Good. Okay, good. Well, I really do appreciate you being here. And I'd like to get your perspective from somebody that used to be in the MAGA movement. I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So we run an independently owned show here. And we appreciate your support on the YouTube Super Chat and, of course, the website, pushingthelimits.live. So anybody out there who wants to make a donation, a monthly donation, we appreciate your help. Pushingthelimits.live. Tomorrow on the program, the lady who is running against Lauren Boebert in Colorado will be joining us, obviously a Democrat. So we'll be joined by her. We'll be giving you any updates on this shooting in New York City. Obviously, this guy lived here in Las Vegas, so any updates we will have for you as well. We love you guys, and I'll do my best. Shelly says, please don't tear up the radio station. I'll try not to. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.
On KSHP North Las Vegas, FM, AM, K296HP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.